Hey, welcome. This is my video on alternate characters for each role. I want to get right into the meat, so I'll just explain this real quick. Let's say that you main one of these duelists. I'm going to recommend you a Vanguard or a strategist who is very similar. Let's start with Punisher because he's a great example. I know a lot of Punisher players honestly just want to shoot people. I do too. Punisher's really addicting. So I'm going to recommend you to play Thor because Thor tanks by being scary. So you just pick up Thor, you're a melee character now. If you press your awakening button, you have a range attack, which you've probably already practiced your aim for. And it does a lot of damage. You'll kill people, and you basically scare everyone off. There is no idea of giving help. It's just you versus the world, and that counts as tanking. Trust me, Thor's my best character. Your best healer, I recommend, is Rocket. Number one, because you're used to the team up. You probably know when it's a good idea. And also, your idea of healing is very fire and forget. Just empty out these orbs, like it counts bouncing them around. Empty like one clip into the fight, and then pull out your gun. Let me tell you how good this gun is. So it has like a 15-meter fall off. This is kind of weak, and it has a bit of a wind up. Like these are technically projectiles. You could see that they delay a bit. They're hanging in the air, but look how much damage this does when I shoot the thing in the face. Goodbye, tank. So you can enjoy yourself by playing Rocket and just doing the minimum. Storm. I'm going in the order of like this, by the way. So Storm, you're a flying character that has a straightforward projectile. I'm going to recommend you Doctor Strange because he flies. Look, I'm discount Storm. Basically Storm right now, and I'm also a tank. Besides that, I think that you might like Cloak and Dagger, because they also have a bit of a flying ability. That lets you fly. Your ultimate is pretty huge for area denial. And you swap between these, like, speed and damage for Cloak, and then damage and healing. Pretty similar. For Hawkeye, like the literal closest analog to Hawkeye out of any character is Adam Warlock. You charge this, let go, and then left click once on the head maybe, and you do a ton of damage. You're basically just Hawkeye with the ability to heal a little bit. Just play the exact same as you would. Besides that, he's a little different, but Magneto. Magneto is just tanky Hawkeye, if you think about it. So bubbling yourself is completely fair. I'll do this sometimes to, I don't know, let's say Jeff is about to attack the team. I'll bubble myself, and then I'll kill Jeff because I trust myself, and then I've freed the team that way. So you have a similar, you're the tank with the most gun-like gun. So just pretend you're still Hawkeye with a bunch of health, and you can keep your cool. Like, I play Magneto all the time, and I keep my cool, and I'm just aiming for people. For Hela, so yeah, she's got a gun and all that. I call every projectile guns because, like, let's be honest, they're guns. But I think a lot of Helis are good at noticing when characters are gonna die, because this ability, yeah, it explodes later. Luna Snow, you have to pop your clap in order to heal really hard. So as a Hela, you're probably paying a lot of attention to health and who's about to get KO'd. So Luna is the same. You pay attention who's about to be KO'd or who's like not a threat at all. You give your little ice guard to. And besides that, you just have like a pretty good shot. And like Luna does good damage when you headshot. Your tank should probably be Groot, and I say this because you have no mobility as Hela. You're probably just used to like slowly walking around and shooting people, and like Groot does that too. Like if you play Groot and you just get in fights and you kind of like, you know, do basic evasive maneuvers and make sure that they never escape, By the way, put these walls up so they do damage. You've probably seen that in the video by now. And then your right click is a good finisher. I think it matches hella. For Black Panther, I think that you are really practiced at your movement already. Like, you move like crazy, and you're probably good at wall running. So Venom is like the wall runner. You get to crawl around, and you have to press a button to start sprinting. But it's the same idea. Go get them, cause a lot of chaos. You won't get. Well, you'll still actually get kills. So the key to Venom is to like stick to one target and keep tapping them on the head, and you will kill them because mathematically you're just better. And then I would say Rocket, because like, let's be honest, you dedicated yourself to Black Panther. Why really learn a healer? Just pick the wall running healer. For Magic, I actually plan to make an entire video about this, but Magic and Thor are the same character. You both heal yourself by doing stuff, and you both like run into the fray and hit people, and you both kind of have combos. You're super similar. You're just tankier and have like a little less kill potential. And then I actually think you should be Mantis, because you have that one-shot combo as Magic. So what Mantis does have like a bit of a one-shot. So it's just headshotting. So sleep on them, and then typically they're walking around, and the trick is just like sleep on them, and then quickly as possible find the headshot, and then unload. You usually get 2 shots before they wake up, and then they could still be shot because they're running around. So I recommend Mantis because of the payoff. For Senor Moon Knight. Moon Knight players, and well, just his style in general, you kind of stay off in the distance. Like, Moon Knight is constantly attacking like this. So I don't think you should be a traditional tank. Like, none of these guys match it, except for Penny. So Penny kind of doesn't want to get hit in the face, and you have a bit of a setup and like threatening kill potential. So if somebody's coming for you, you just unload on the floor and then shoot. So you should stick to your strengths, which is probably aiming and tactical stuff. Besides that, Invisible Woman is also really good at that stay off me kind of style. Like, you get flanked as Moon Knight, you run away. So she also does that. Jumping turns you invisible. And you have your push, you have a slow, and you can kind of manage the battlefield. Like, you probably wish that you had all these Invisible Woman abilities when you're playing Moon Knight. Okay, Squirrel Girl. I mean, her strength is really like understanding the battle and like hitting trick shots. I'm not going to get into the. You already know how to play Squirrel Girl. You should just pick the Thing, because the Thing is all about like getting value. You just run in, you get shot yourself, but like this is literally Thing gameplay. Same idea. Hit the same button as much as you can. This is objectively correct, and it cleaves into targets. This is the correct way to play Thing. Your healer, I might say Cloak and Dagger, because Cloak and Dagger, specifically Dagger, is good at just like staying back and like scaring people off. You just kind of shoot a flanker or a flyer, and you force them to leave, and then you shoot your teammates. So that same style that Squirrel Girl has of staying in the back and shooting, I think Cloak and Dagger is really, really similar. Black Widow, for like the 3 of you. Meg, because you can kill guys. It's shot, big shot, and then shot does a ton of damage. So play the tank that needs aim. And then for your healer, I think you should try Mantis, because Mantis also needs to aim. So you use up all your heals, but you get them back by headshotting. So you're just Black Widow. Why not? Iron Man, this is going to be a funny suggestion. So, Iron Man, I think you should be Jeff. It's because this ability is really similar to the beam. You have to trace a moving target. That's actually a really unique skill. Quite frankly, like not a lot of characters have that. The closest is like melee characters that are constantly swinging. But it's kind of like Gatling Tracy thing. Jeff is really similar, and he's all about big numbers. Like the ultimate is the same. You get a big circle. You might even feel better with Jeff than your own ultimate because it kind of launches quicker and there's no threat of you getting shot in the air and exposing yourself. Plus, he's a good flanker and you'll get behind people a lot. And then I think you should play Strange because even though Iron Man and Strange are both 2-star difficulty, you already know that it goes deeper than that. So you should play this guy because, I mean, you probably like dudes with goatees. I kind of got nothing here, but I really think that you should try this guy out if you like Iron Man. Flies around, has a bunch of different dish abilities. You'll have fun. I think you'll have more fun that way. For Spider-Man, you should be Captain America. He's so similar in execution. You jump their backline. Goodbye tank, run, go get their backline. You're basically just beefy, non-stealthy, and threatening. You might like him in a different way. You know, the extra 400 health doesn't hurt, and you're pretty similar that way. The healer I think you should try is Loki, because if you dedicated to a complicated character already, you might like Loki. Also, goes invisible, uses flank routes. You can kind of apply the opposite knowledge of like, oh, I'm getting flanked. I know exactly how that's going to go down. And you'll probably have fun because Spider-Man players all like fun. And there's a lot of like skill expression in Loki. Wanda, Scarlet Witch. You should try the Hulk. The reason I think you should try the Hulk is because your like primary fire is very similar. The idea is Hulk also gets in the back line, kind of like Witch, and chasing them around and attacking them is basically the same thing. You just scare them away, and your escape is super, super easy. To make it easier, go into the settings and make it so that you don't have to hold this down. I am only pressing spacebar a single time in order to jump, and then I press it a second time to jump. I was not holding it to build a meter. Please do that. So yeah, pretty similar. You just go kill their backliners. That basically counts. And when they turn on you, you already know, just leave. And then come back for basically free. The healer I think you should try is... It's Cloak and Dagger, because like Cloak is just a slightly weaker Wanda. This also does percent-based damage. You're just Wanda. The blind, you'll probably enjoy the blind. Just remember that they actually can't see you very well. For Bucky, you're used to getting rewarded for again. So that game style of like, do now and I'll get something in return. If you're primed and ready for that, I recommend you play Mantis, because you'll use up all your heals and then you'll have them back and you'll heal even more. And similar is Thor. Use up all your hammers. And then I need more hammers. Oh look, hitting gives me more. So neither one is ultimate based, but they are both based around getting your resources back by doing the right thing. Star-Lord. That in-out style and also highly rewarding headshots is similar with Venom. That does a ton. Well, comparatively, yeah, that does a ton. incidental headshots. You're not going to headshot your entire clip, but you are going to manage to get a few. So like, sure, a few body shots, and then a handful of headshots ends up killing your target. And then, sorry, reading my notes. Rocket. It's very similar. Like, your headshot is doing more than you realize, and you're used to having this like clippy kind of gun and moving around quite a bit. So he's super similar. For Namor, knowledge of like objects and like the walls is actually rarer than you think as a Namor player. I know you probably picked them up because you wanted to kill flankers, but not a lot of people know about like what walls are going to break, what walls people are not going to look at. For that reason, you should try Penny. You probably are like, oh, nobody's going to look at this wall in particular. Nobody's going to look up. Nobody's going to expect me to landmine this entire wall. And you'll probably feel good that way. For your healer, Loki. Very similar. These will shoot. You're kind of Namor. Psylocke. So Psylocke players have these like, quick combos. I actually am not very practiced at Psylocke, but these quick little combos that actually involve like quick button presses. I think your equivalents are Magneto with the left, right, left. That does most of a character's health if they're not a tank, and is a little quick and tricky to aim against a moving target. I actually thought about making these moving targets, but like they're too loud. Anyway, otherwise, sometimes you really need to act fast as Cloak and Dagger. Like, you really need to say your Cloak, oh crap, I'm getting attacked, hit the floor, and then go back and start attacking, and then maybe even mash in some of these other abilities. Psylocke will have you practiced for that. Wolverine, you were used to playing aggressively. So because of that, I think you should play Thor. Thing's actually a terrible example, but you can push around characters. I kind of wish I didn't have the thing. You know what? I'll do it just for demonstration's sake. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Besides that, Adam is really aggressive. Sometimes you'll literally want to run forward just for better aim, and also Soul Bond lets you get away with stuff that you normally shouldn't, just like your endurance thing for Wolverine. So for Thor, you like, I bet you wish you had like 5 pushes instead of just the one. Also, you're a melee character, so you're used to it. Iron Fist. So this parry is pretty important, isn't it? So let me tell you a secret about Hulk, and then honorable mention to Magneto. But when you block with your shield, you're going to get rewarded with ultimate charge. So if they break that, even on your allies, you get ultimate charge. So timing is everything. Magneto, same thing. And if you're really good at Iron Fist, you probably know how to block ultimates. So Strange can also block ultimates. And then your healer of choice, I think, should be Mantis, or anyone else who you kind of is your least favorite hero to dive. Like, out of all the healers, who you like diving the least. But I recommend Mantis because of the solo potential. Like, you probably get into a lot of one-on-ones, and you keep it cool in them, and you analyze your opponent's movement and take them out. That's a key thing for Mantis. Torch. So Torch is used to getting this like view of the battlefield where like you're all the way up here, you see how everyone is. The character that does that similarly would be Penny. You often are at a range and you're seeing battlefield, and the enemy's approach is everything. Also the mines are similar. Invisible Woman. Same idea, seeing the battlefield, see somebody coming, push them. See somebody coming, throw this ball at them. Similar ideas of preparedness and also like watching. For Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, like you guys are like literally the same. In fact, they're really scary on the same team. They just run at you and they're both punching like crazy and taking hits. Try out the Thing. I don't even have to demonstrate. Besides that, I think you should try Loki for the idea of building towards something. So you're usually attempting to pop inflation at the exact time you want to, or at least just building it in a prepared way. Loki's pretty similar. So you place these and then like, oh, something important's happening. We're all getting healed. Great. Okay, let's move on to healers. There's going to be a bit of repetition here. For Rocket, you should probably try Squirrel Girl because the lobbing thing, imagine if these each did 120 damage. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah, try that out. I swear it's not just because you're simple characters. That is awesome. That is awesome. Your tank, I think, should be Penny because of like incidental effect. You've already thought about where to throw your BRB. Hide the nest. Like make it so that this is not that easy to kill. And you just kind of like accidentally kill people. That's great. You'll be really used to it. For Mantis, I think you should try Strange because your ultimate. You have like you need to go now, right? Like that's the same idea as Mantis. Usually when you're ulting as Mantis, you like go and attack yourself to get the most value. And then I also think Moon Knight because of like similar gun, similar clip size. Like headshot is true, and this pace of like never reloading and just shooting is similar to Mantis. For Loki, I think you should try Bucky for like creative expression. So there's no order that you are supposed to use your abilities. Sure, you could do this, like, oh, I'm not good at it, but the little pushy thing. Sure, that's one. But there's no order to how you do this. So you might feel good about, you know, expressing yourself and figuring out what to do properly in a situation. I also think you should try Groot because you don't have a mobility. Why learn a mobility? Kind of similar gun, no headshot focus, and you're used to placing stuff. Adam, in my honest opinion, your duelist of choice should still be Adam. He's like the best third support on any team. But if not, try Punisher and Iron Man for like kind of spammy, but you're doing the correct thing for spamming. And then I also think your tank should be Strange because your gun is pretty similar and you have the combo cancel. So like Strange does like shot melee. Same with you canceling with your other ability or with your like click to do 6 shots. And your ultimate is very big and important and expensive, so you might enjoy that. Luna. So I think you should try Scarlet Witch for the finisher. So she has this, but just like the clap, you could throw in your projectiles and it does more damage. So similar to clap, you decide when you should be throwing projectiles. Also, fast movement and stuff is very nice. Good escape. Magneto, I think, because similar weapon, you're getting used to aiming, and also you have this show-stopping ultimate. Like, you're Luna, so you're used to canceling ultimates. Something bad happens, fear Magneto, throw. Cloak and Dagger, you should try Witch again, because Witch is just like Cloak with no healing. And then I think you should actually try Venom for knowing about when you'll die. So like when you're playing a Cloak and Dagger, you realize you're about to die and you throw this on the ground. That's not a skill that everyone has, so Venom can use a shield when he's about to die. And usually cloaks will like fight you to the death, and they kind of realize that it's like you or me because we both want to stand here. And Venom is very similar. You'll just fight them to the death and continue to fight until one of you is dead and you're favored in the fight. Invisible Woman. I think you should try Magneto because of how many survival tools he has. So Invisible Woman's like a toolkit, and so are you. So you have this, that blocks everything besides melee. You have push, which you're pretty used to. You only need to let that charge once. If you don't want damage, you could just push it. Actually, I might be wrong. Still, you have a push. And your bubble is sometimes correct to put on you, and sometimes correct to put on allies. And you'll probably pay a lot of attention to your allies anyway, because you're a healer. Jeff, your little boy Jeff. So I actually think you should try Spider-Man because he's a flanker. This is assuming that you're like a Jeff who assumes that they're very skilled. I think that like all of your flanking crap that you're doing, just learn Spider-Man, dude. Like, bite the bullet. You'll be awesome, and you're playing Jeff because you're like a fun, cool dude, and so is Spider-Man. And then Venom, because also big fun, and your ultimates are super similar, like big circle that you aim. Okay, let's cap this off finally with tanks. So for the Hulk, you should try Wolverine, because Wolverine enjoys getting into like solo fights. So does Hulk. Like, you do the exile, you do the leap. You'll get into these solo fights where, you know, you have the advantage now. And then I think you should try Invisible Woman, because you have already got used to hitting like a one-time, like, oh, I just wasted that, that's not coming back for 12 seconds. You're used to that with Exile. And you have, so you're in monster form, you're used to pushing people around. So in this, you can actually pull them in, and you can push, so you're used to those two things. Strange, exact same thing. You should try Storm, because you're just Strange constantly flying. And then you should try Loki, because Loki has a lot of like execution and like thinky kind of stuff, and you're probably also thinking of a way in. Loki also wants to think of a way in. Captain America, you should probably try Iron Fist or Spider-Man, but really any flanker. If you've already gone and learned this guy, try a flanker. Besides that, try Luna for the fast movement and the like impactful one-time shot, but mostly for like the fast movement. Luna kind of wants to be the center of the show, similar to Cap. Like, you want a big fight to happen in an appropriate way. Luna also wants to orchestrate a fight properly. Groot. This one, I think you should learn this just to hit through shields. Like, you're constantly using your left click into Strange's shield. Why not just cleave through it for once in your life? Like, reward yourself, buddy. Like, if you're switching for some reason, be melee. And then besides that, Loki, because you get to play stuff on the ground, and you're good at that. Venom, you are the big movement tank, so you should probably also play a movement character, because you don't realize just how little other characters are mobile. Like, you got the wall run, Please note you can't run sideways, but like all those same stealth principles apply to Black Panther, and same with Sharky Boy. This is a bit of a skill. Escaping Jeff is a skill. Being distracting as Jeff is really important. Magneto. I think you should try Hela because of the aim that I mentioned. You should just switch to her because, you know, you're always aiming, and she is rewarded for, like, she has no mobility, you're not used to it, so just, like, wander with the crowd and shoot, except you're behind the Magneto instead of being the Magneto. And then, you know, if you get into trouble, flip him the bird and fly away. Loki. You should try Loki because you're also aiming and you're used to having like a mega ultimate that like cancels other ultimates. If you're a Thor player, play Magic. You're just skinny Thor with a one-shot capability. Besides that, Adam, because you both center around a like cooldown, like I'm out of heals for a while, I shouldn't waste those. You're probably, but as Thor, you're used to spacing your abilities out. And also, like, raw kill potential. Like, Thor loves to kill, Adam loves to kill. Penny Parker, you should try no more. Turrets and stuff, and just, like, standing in the back and, like, saving people who, like, this squid is not as good as your nest, but is still pretty freaking good, and so is shooting people in the head. And then, finally, the Thing. Try out the Punisher, because your shotgun is, like, just like spamming spamming haymakers. Just run in, just do this. That's awesome. Underrated, really. Besides that, you should also try Mantis, because just like sticking your face into a tank and like shooting them, pretty simple. If you stayed this long and listened to the tanks, thank you. This was mostly for the DPS players. I'm not very good at ending videos. Subscribe if you care to. I'd like to gather up subscribers. Thanks. Goodbye.